Bree's diamond ring slipped from her hand and sank to the bottom of the swimming pool. Without hesitation, the two sisters dove under to retrieve it. But instead of finding the ring, Jana's long hair got tangled in the pool's filter. Bree immediately swam to her and tried to free her. Neither of them knew a bigger danger was moments away. The pool manager, McGrady, assuming the place was empty, hit the button to shut the pool and left for the night. A massive fiberglass cover began sliding over the water. Bree caught sight of it just in time and yanked Jana's hair free. They shot upward, but the cover closed completely before they could escape. The sisters pounded on it, yelling for help, but the building was silent. They tried pushing with all their strength, yet the heavy cover didn't move an inch. Worse still, the pool was locked down for the entire week. Desperation set in. They spotted a small hole in the cover, but it was far too tiny. No way to squeeze a hand through. Bree grabbed a plastic board and tried to make the hole bigger, but it wouldn't widen. Frustrated and scared, Jana lashed out, blaming Bree. If it weren't for the ring, she shouted, they wouldn't be trapped. Bree stayed quiet, then swam back down alone. This time she surfaced with the ring. And a discovery. The drainage grate beneath her feet was loose. Maybe they could use it to break the cover. She pulled on it, but it wouldn't budge. She called Jana over, but Jana dismissed it as hopeless. Just then, Bree's phone started ringing. It was her fiancé, David. Hope lit up her eyes. Surely he'd noticed something was wrong. But hours passed, the calls kept coming, and no one came. By sunset, the pool lights flicked off, plunging them into total darkness. Bree, shivering, clutched her head. She was diabetic, and her insulin was in her bag outside the pool. Seeing her sister's condition, Jana calmed down and took the plastic board, trying again to widen the hole. 4 hours had crawled by when the pool lights suddenly came back on. The night cleaner, Clara, had arrived. The sisters banged on the cover, shouting for help, but Clara ignored them and instead rummaged through Bree's wallet, finding only a small amount of cash. Disappointed, she switched off the security cameras before walking over. As it turned out, Clara had just been released from prison for theft, was drowning in debt, and had a child to care for. Her plan was simple: demand money in exchange for their freedom. She ordered Bree to give her the PIN for her bank card. Only then did the sisters realize this was a shakedown. Jana cursed at her, enraging Clara, who shut off the pool's heating system. The water quickly turned icy. Bree, trembling, finally gave up the PIN, and Clara left to check the account. When she returned, she was furious. There was only $80. She accused them of lying. Jana pleaded, explaining Bree's medical condition, but Clara refused to believe it. Watching Bree fade, Jana's anger turned to vengeance. She'd lured Clara close to the hole and managed to injure her, but the retaliation backfired. Enraged, Clara stormed to the controls and activated the pool's cleaning jets. A surge of chlorine blasted into the water, choking the sisters. Dizzy and gasping, Bree sank. Jana dove, dragging her back to the tiny hole just to breathe. Spotting the sisters struggling for air, Clara decided she wasn't going to let anyone die in front of her. She cut the power to the pool's cleaning system. Then she returned to them, not with comfort, but with a demand: Bree's diamond ring. Bree froze for a moment, but realizing there was no way out, she reluctantly handed it over. Clara weighed the ring in her palm, thinking it might fetch a decent price. With nothing else to gain from them, Clara finally headed for the control room to lift the pool cover. But when she keyed in the command, the system flashed an error. McGrady had already changed the passcode. A cold wave of panic washed over her. If she couldn't open it, the sisters were as good as dead. Yet calling for help was out of the question. She had just gotten out of prison, and the last thing she wanted was to risk going back. Her solution? Walk away. Leaving them trapped, she turned her back and vanished. Jana, seeing their last hope disappear, cursed in rage only to turn and find Bree unconscious. Without her insulin, she wouldn't survive much longer. Their only shot at escape now was the metal grate underwater. But Jana's heart pounded. Earlier, her hair had gotten tangled in it, almost drowning her. Still, with no other choice, she forced herself under the surface and tugged at the grate with all her strength. Once, no luck. Twice, still no luck. Then, spotting a swimsuit strap, she looped it through the bars for leverage. This time, it gave way. Breaking the surface, Jana slammed the grate against the cover. A faint crack appeared. She hit again, harder, more cracks. One final blow and the cover snapped apart. Jana pulled Bree onto the deck and quickly gave her the insulin. Slowly, Bree's eyes fluttered open, but relief didn't last. Clara had returned, a gun now in her hand. Her mind was made up. If the sisters lived, they could turn her in. Jana clung to Bree, begging and promising silence, but Clara kept advancing. Then Jana shouted the one thing she knew could reach her. "If you do this, what happens to your daughter?" The words froze Clara in her tracks. Slowly, she lowered the gun and tossed the ring back. Jana wasted no time calling emergency services and, true to her word, let Clara slip away. The sisters were safe at last. And the takeaway? Never wear jewelry in the pool and maybe invest in a good swim cap. That was the chilling true fight for survival in 12 Feet Deep movie. A story where every second counts, every breath feels stolen, and every choice could be your last. If you love this intense ride, don't forget the danger, the suspense, the heart-pounding moments. They all belong to 12 Feet Deep movie. And in the end, 12 Feet Deep movie reminds us, sometimes the scariest place is right beneath the surface.